What's up, guys? Today we're going to talk about a really important issue, income issue. All right, and if you're not aware of the gym owner income issue, let's break it down. The first thing is that gym owners running group fitness programs are not making a professional income as a average, as an industry as a whole. Now, there are outliers out there, but the mass amount of people that I interact with are not happy with their income. They're nowhere near feeling like they've got enough to save for retirement. They are nowhere near feeling like they could go through another pandemic or tap into an emergency fund for, fixes on a building or equipment. Okay, it's important that we call it what it is and say, hey, we got to shore this up. We got to make sure that this big gap of the people that are driving the companies feel confident, feel stable, feel secure. And if that's not happening, why isn't that being the number one problem? Okay, well, I'm here to tell you it is the number one problem for me. I'm a long-term 15-year gym owner and have gone through these issues, but we're solving them and attacking them in a way that is uncomfortable, is quite honestly confronting of people inside our memberships and asking and challenging people to change their opinions on our value and increase rates. We're changing the status quo of what small group training is worth. And that's freaking scary. Like, I'm here to tell you that this is completely uncomfortable for me and how we've done it. But if you're focused on a career, if you're focused on doing really high quality work, you're worth it. And people will pay out there and people will believe in you and people will continue to see the value even if their current client's paying less money. But we need to be clear. There are three major things happening inside our businesses that need to be addressed if you're going to solve the income issue. And the first, very serious one is recognizing that all signups are not created equal. Okay, this more volume or more member model out there that you could just simply grow more membership up front, and then that's going to change everything down the road for you in terms of your income, in terms of the business as a whole. And that's not true. Not all signups are created equal. So you guys need to think about this in two levels. The first is if you do not have a consistent marketing plan, well, you're not going to be able to expect. You haven't earned that expectation of having consistent leads, consistent people to talk to. Okay, so that's the first major piece of signups, right? Is not all of them are created equal, and you have to push, you have to drive. There's no getting away from that. And if you don't have a marketing plan right now, just know that that is a massive opportunity, not just a hole, but a massive opportunity to change that. And you start there. I know it's uncomfortable. I know it's not why you started your business, but it certainly is one of the best ways to get your name out there and get people to see you. And being seen is the first step to having that opportunity for a sale. Okay. Second thing on that sales front, not all signups are created equally. What I want you to think about is, what does a qualified prospect look like? What does an ideal new client say, think? What kind of problems they have? What kind of expectations would make you feel more secure that this is going to be a lasting relationship? Okay. And here are the three things that I want you to focus on. Does this person live within a reasonable drive time? Does this person understand the expectations of what you need from them in terms of training time, mindset, effort? And does this person understand the value and the commitment financially? And if yes, you have someone that will likely stay with you for years, as long as you communicate, as long as you get to know each other up front and develop a relationship at the point of contact, not at the point of sale. If you can go into that sale with that qualified prospect, you are going to get a first-class sign-up, someone that stays year round. Okay? Do that, you'll change your income. Second major issue impacting income, member rates. This is the big elephant in the room that no one wants to talk about, and increasing it by 10% or $20 isn't enough, guys. Many of you are due for a correction and you know it. Many of you haven't increased rates for 3, 5, 10 years. And it's built up to the point where your cost of operations have gone up. You've made investments in your facilities and you've never recouped it. You made investments in team and never recouped it. Okay, enough is enough. We have to come to terms that your operating costs have to be defined and they have to all be in the math equation that sets your prices, not your competitors. Okay, what it costs to deliver the service, what it costs to fully have all the resources is what sets the price. Okay, and what does that mean? That means that when you price your membership, you have to include every single operating expense. And that also means you have to include the things that, even if you think they're luxuries, they're essential. Marketing, you need an ad budget. Going door to door is not enough. Posting on social media is not enough. Relying on referrals is not enough. You have to be seen to new people. Okay? So marketing and advertising must take a line item. Your personal income. If you want that $60,000 a year, professional income, you have to put it in the actual budget to effectively price your membership to include it. Profit. How many of you out there were impacted by the pandemic? That's 100% of you. How many of you worry about equipment breaking or facility breaking, not having the funds? Taxes are coming up. How many of you are ready for that? Well, that means that profit needs to be there in emergency. It needs to be there in future investment. Well, if you do not plan for it, you can't expect it. So that needs to be in there. All right. In addition to that, continuing education. If you're not at where you want to be, then you need to find someone to help train you and guide you to become a person that has solved those problems like them. So what I mean, you need staff development, you need leadership and marketing skills and business system development. If you're not feeling strong in those areas, invest in yourself. You're worth it. But most of all, build it into the operating budget so that you have everything you need to get the job done. Many of you are starving yourselves out because you're not including those costs in the budget. That's the second biggest leading indicator for me. When I look at companies and I work with owners, say, hey, did we include everything we need to be successful? Okay. The third thing, scale. Many of you are stuck in an unscaled business. What the heck does that mean? Well, the first thing it could mean is that you're offering too many programs, too many classes. It doesn't match where you're currently at. If you have 40, 50 members and you have 35 to 40 classes, if you have multiple different programs that you're trying to market and promote, you're doing too much. You have too many half-built bridges. You've built the product, but you haven't sold it and you haven't built it up in terms of momentum. So maybe it's time to scale back, recoup some of those costs that you're spending. And that may be, for some of you guys out there, paring down some of the size of your facility, paring down those classes that are not full. All right. The next thing, what happens in a growth model? Well, when you add more classes to grow, you end up adding more staff needs. When you add more staff needs, you increase the operating costs. You increase the need for management in terms of hiring, training, staffing, and overall management time. And it becomes a less fun, more complex model to run. And when you have that, the lifestyle benefit of being an owner-operator and running a lean and simple and profitable model goes out the window. And that's where a lot of the challenge is feeling overworked and underpaid. So if you don't have a scalable business where you have enough margin in your prices, enough freedom in how you've designed your schedule and the number of people it takes to run your business, you're going to be frustrated with the scalability. Okay, so those are the three things, guys, I want to bring to your attention. I will continue to coach you on. And if you're stuck, that's why we're here. We've cracked the code when it comes to small group training. It's taken us 15 years to figure out the perfect format for owners to follow that is teachable, that is able to happen in a reasonable amount of time. Okay. And when I say reasonable amount of time, I'm here to tell you that this is a learnable skill. Okay. And learnable means that you have to show up and put in the work. It means that you have to be willing to let go of some old things that aren't working well, or things that are working okay that need to be tuned up because you haven't paid attention to them in a while, or you haven't cleaned out this dirty closet of old processes and they're ready for more speed, less complexity. And that's where scale ultimately is. So I'm here to tell you guys, if you want that plan, that guidance, and that reassurance that you've got a proven model, let's talk. That's the next step to realizing how to properly get to the income you want, is through putting in the work, through looking at the uncomfortable issues of membership price increases, of how to get more people in the door, and how to look at your processes to understand that they're scalable, that they're designed efficiently, and that they're matching today's times. what you've done 10 years ago, what you've done 5 years ago. Just know that everything requires updates. All right. If you want someone to help you do that, if you want someone to talk to about some current issues you're going through, message me. I'll do that with you. We have to make a difference as a collective industry and professions or professional coaches. And that's what I'm committed to. I'm committed to you, and we are committed to this mission together. See ya.